October 6th, 2023 board meeting. I'll begin by introducing our new board member, Mr. Jean Petrie, who you've already sworn in, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so welcome to the board. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome. When Mr. Cozy's done fixing his coffee, we'll move on to the invocation.
It's fine right here. Dear God, thank you for this day. Most of all, thank you for the challenges that we are now into. Bless this board, bless everybody that attended this session today. Amen.
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 Roll call.
Jennifer Reed,
Present.
Nicole Godin,
Present.
Renee Bosworth,
Present.
Jean Petrie,
Present.
Raymond Cozy,
Present.
Lauren Quinlan, absent, Kate Holmes, absent. 5 board members present, 2 absent, and there is a quorum.
All right, we'll move to section 5, acceptance of the revised agenda.
I make a motion to accept the revised agenda for today's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The disposition of the September 8th, 2025 board meetings is in front of you. We've had a chance to look over it in our board member packet.
I make a motion to accept the board meeting minutes for the September 8th meeting. I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. We will move on quickly to our section of guests. Ms. Chastity Nader, are you present? No? Okay, so we'll go back to her. We'll move on to Ms. Lsbc Moffitt.
Ooh. Catch my breath.
We have a busy meeting this morning, Ms. Lsbc.
Yeah, excuse me? What'd you say?
We have a lot on the board meeting this morning,
I
so
see
we're
you have a
moving
full
right along.
house here. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about alternative hairstyle.
Okay.
Okay. Exactly where are we now with that? From the legislation and where are we now? Still trying to decide where are we now? What's the status?
No legislation passed that affects alternative hair.
None has, right. Okay, any future thoughts on moving forward?
I don't think we've done anything with legislation yet. Until the 6th, they generally look at that toward the end of the year, November, December.
Okay, I have a couple of questions about the curriculum. What textbooks is being used for alternative hairstyle?
It's up to the school.
It's up to the school?
Correct.
Okay, what about the testing?
Which the state board testing?
The
Practical?
practical here at State Board, yes.
I will see.
What exactly do you guys do?
Did you send that to me?
I did. I don't have it in front of me. I know there's like a feed-in braid. There's so many on-scout braids. I don't have it in front of me to quote exactly what all it pertains.
Mhm. Okay, so are you guys doing any, when you say feed-in, you're talking about extensions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, was that addressed in the legislation? Is that a part of what's in the documents?
In the alternative hair, the definition of alternative hair braiding?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, what else is done in alternative hairstyling here at the board? As far as when they come to the board, they do a inverted, a what?
Well, that was the question you just asked Nicole.
I don't have it in front of me to quote exactly what the test consists of. I could get a copy, and, you know, it's on our website as well. I apologize, I don't have it memorized.
Okay, there's a portion, does anybody have a copy of the gold book, what's in the gold book? Okay, That's why I was telling you, I need to get myself together. But,
What are you looking for, the definition of alternative
okay.
hairstyling?
No. I want to know, since alternative hairstyling is categorized as a permit, how many, do you guys have a copy of the original document that was, curriculum that was given for alternative
That would be a
hairstyle?
question for staff.
Okay,
New
staff.
board members do not have a copy of that.
When exactly did it go from 1,000 hours to 500 hours?
I
That was in
have it,
legislature.
I don't have it with me, but I do have the rule that was, the 1,000 hours, and I believe that was in 2002, and then I think it was changed in 2000. I think it was in 2002 that the rule was written and maybe promulgated in 2003. And the only change that was made, the curriculum wasn't changed to my knowledge, just the number of hours was changed from 1,000 to 500. And actually might have been done before the rule was promulgated, because you have to go through a process of public comments. Can't really remember back to 2003, but it might have been in the promulgation process itself that it went from 1,000 to 500.
Okay, so what was deducted from the 1,000 hours?
My understanding, because I did review the original rule in connection with the legislation, there was the subject matters were not changed, just the number of hours. But still, the things that had to be covered were the same, the topics. So 1107, it says history overview, and then it has one ABC. Nothing was taken out, just the number that was at the top in Part A, where it says at least 1,000 hours, it used to say, was changed to 500.
So do you think that's a sufficient amount of hours, since nothing was really taken out, but the information still has to be, the territory and the information still has to be covered? Is 500 a sufficient enough hours?
That's what the board's thought was at the time, because there was difficulty in getting the schools to pick up the 1,000 hours, and they were trying to make the program more available. So they relooked at it, and they came up with 500 hours.
So, in the board's mind, what's the difference in alternative hairstyling and natural hairstyling as opposed to cosmetology? What's the difference?
There was a different board that was here. This board has.
I
not
know.
Chemicals.
Chemicals?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, chemicals. Okay. Under alternative hairstyling are the, and they're called facilities now, right? Natural hair facilities.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, alternative hairstyling facilities.
Yes.
Will they still be required to do, they're gonna do shampooing and conditioning, right? No?
So do they do it in the facility?
They can shampoo.
Yeah, they have
They're gonna be doing shampooing?
Wait, it's in there.
It's just an alternative, if they hold alternative hair permit, yes, they can shampoo.
They can shampoo. Can they use the dryer? The hair dryers?
All this information is in the gold book, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
No, it doesn't specifically say if they're gonna use hair dryers and thermal, because hair drying is under thermal, right?
Right.
Right?
Ms. Lsbc, do you have a presentation that you want to present?
No, I'm asking questions. I need clarity so that I can.
Well, the questions you've asked, most of them were in the gold book, as you stated, or, that we have.
Is hair drying accepted under alternative hairstyling? And I'm asking this because if you go into a hairstyling facility, alternative hairstyling facility, and they have clients under the dryer, or if they have clients using thermal of any capacity, it's a violation, right? It's a fine, right? Because thermal is, and I'm asking, is drying the hair a part of thermal, a part of
If we
heat?
have some questions, it might be best if you submit the questions so then the board could
Right.
be
If you send us
prepared.
an email with all the questions, then we can be prepared for all your questions.
But wait, who are you?
Jean-Pierre.
I don't mean to be rude. I've been to 2 meetings and I've never seen you.
I'm
Are
new
you a
board-
board member?
I'm a new board member, yes, ma'am.
A new board member?
Yes, ma'am.
As of this week?
A couple weeks, a week or two ago.
Okay, because you weren't at the last board meeting. Okay, you're a school owner
Yes.
Okay.
And a salon owner.
and a salon owner? I think that's a valid question. And the reason I'm asking these
No, the questions are great. The questions.
and they've
I
never
appreciate
been
all your
addressed.
questions, but if-
They've never been addressed. So
Right.
don't,
But
they've
if-
never been addressed. And it's serious
Right.
because if it's not addressed, this is something that I want to have addressed with the legislature.
Right.
And I'm gonna work on that.
I think your questions are wonderful, but for us to prepare to answer the questions properly, if you give to us advance,
But you're a board member, you should know, you're a salon owner and a school owner. So this is something you should know off the top.
well, I got it.
Thermo,
I mean,
I didn't ask about history, I'm talking about it's thermo.
Are you a-
Will clients,
Okay.
be able, will, alternative hairstylists be able to put clients under the hair dryer? If they're shampooing, will they be, it's a simple question, will they be able to put them under the hair dryer? Okay,
Submit
put
your
that down.
questions in a declaratory order and we'll
Yeah, I
prepare.
think your board was under the impression you were making a presentation today, and not really a Q&A, and I don't think we've had time to prepare ourselves. On a
Right.
daily, we're not necessarily looking at alternative hair design. So I would
Okay,
like the
I
opportunity to
understand,
look
I
up and
understand.
answer your questions.
I understand, so this is the type of stuff that needs to be addressed when you go back to the Senate and the legislation. And because this is serious, this has been 40, I wrote this 40 years ago, and we're still here, we're stuck.
well, I get it, and if it needs to be addressed, you can have a representative carry your bill. Anybody can have a rep carry your bill and bring it to the
I need you to just understand and answer with cosmetology, because you are, and I don't mean to be rude,
Oh,
I really don't mean to be rude. This is simple, basic questions that a person that does natural hair and braid hair would want to know. Simple. I'm not being funny, and I don't think I should have to come here with a list of have submitted prepared questions for you guys, because you are the professionals. You are the board. You are school owners and you are stylists. What are you doing? Your students are doing alternative hairstyle now, right? You have black clients. If you have black clients coming into the school, you should be able to answer this question. Because you don't just shampoo people's hair and braid their hair. It's the, wait, and I want you
For all of our
guys to,
students,
I want you guys to understand, natural hair is a part of cosmetology, but it's a little different. And I think it's taken me 40 years to get cosmetology and the board of cosmetology, not just you, because it's all over the nation. Because we have just been so used to dealing with mannequins with straight hair and people with straight hair and chemicals, it's not clicking for you guys. But it's a serious issue in the black community. It's holding us back. It's holding people back from moving forward. And I can't let you just poo-poo me on the side and not answer my question. Is putting a person under the dryer thermal? And if it is, I want you to think about and consider putting that in this and allowing people to do thermal. Because they have to blow dry. You have to straighten you have to straighten hair. And it's a physical change. It's not a chemical change. So it's not under chemicals. It's a physical change. Understand that.
Okay,
That's
we
all I'm
understand.
saying.
We understand. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Lsbc.
Okay. So and another thing I want to address is,
Ms. Lsbc, we have to move
Okay.
on. Just
all right,
Listen,
all
and
right.
also the-
But I'm coming back.
Send us an email so that we can answer you appropriately.
I'm coming back, because it's been, y'all have been making us wait 40 years.
I would love to address these things, I think we do need to address, but if you could send an email with these questions, we can thoroughly research
That
it.
question was a simple yes or no. If you're a hairdresser,
I'm not
if
a
you're a stylist,
cosmetologist.
if you're a cosmetologist, that's a simple yes or no.
I'm not a
Do you put people
cosmetologist.
with wet hair under the dryer? Simple yes or no.
I'm not a cosmetologist.
All right, y'all,
I'm a school
you're my
teacher.
friend. All right, we still friends. All
We
right,
most definitely are.
all right.
And I welcome you back.
Yeah, oh
But
yeah.
I would like you to.
It's
Email
stuff
your
that needs
questions
to
and
be
we'll have them
answered.
ready for you.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Say something?
Yes.
Ms. Moffitt was very instrumental in getting this into the law. She's the one that helped formulate the curriculum and form the basis of the law. And Ms. Moffitt, it hasn't been changed in 20-something years.
Right.
So if you have some things that you think need to be changed, it would really be helpful if you'll, let the board know what changes you think should be made to the way it's written currently, and then it can go through a rules promulgation process.
Okay, and that goes back to, and we discussed this, about having somebody that knows alternative hairstyling on the board. And it is my understanding that you can't have somebody on the board for alternative hairstyling because it's a license. It's not a license, it's a permit. So if it's a permit, but to me, you're talking to the wrong people. You're talking to the wrong people. The people currently helping you with this is not the ones. Because they may have schools, they have reasons for wanting to do this, but they don't have the knowledge or the information or the experience. And my concern is people with agendas.
Oh, wow.
Bottom line. Okay? All right.
Ma'am. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lsbc.
All right.
Yes, we still friends, Ms. Lsbc. Okay?
I appreciate your passion too.
Oh, I'm very passionate. Look, let me tell you something. I came to state board meetings for almost 10, 15 years every month to get this done. So I'm not new to this, I'm true to it, and I'm serious about it. I went through hell and high water with certain people that didn't want me here, didn't want to hear what I was saying, didn't want to hear anything about black hair. So I'm very serious about this. All right, understand. Let's get some understanding. Okay. Move on.
Okay, so, thank you, Ms. Lsbc. Okay, I remember,
Jeremy.
okay, yeah. And I just noticed okay, sports clips?
With me.
Yes,
All
hi,
right.
welcome.
All right, I want to thank y'all for the floor today to kind of talk about legislation that we've been working on. Thank you for that as well. I can empathize with you, working on things and getting frustrated. So, that was my joke for the day. But you hadn't seen me for a while. It's not because we went out of business or anything. We've just been working on this national legislation. I'm Jeremy from Sport Clips. We're now up to 27 locations in Louisiana, Mississippi. So we've been growing as well. Let's talk about no tax on tips first. Some of the people in the room probably know about the legislation that has been passed. There's nothing bad about this. This is probably one of the best things to hit the industry in a very, very long time, and we should be excited about that. And my message to the board members, to salon owners, what have you in the room is we need to get out the word that this is happening. It's going to improve the return on investment, and I've said that enough of our students going into schools to be able to, it's going to put more money in their pockets so they can pay back student loans to stay gainfully employed. So to kind of talk a little bit about that, this was very bipartisan. I mean, I think President Trump brought it up, but Kamala Harris put it in her so this was very, very popular, right? And talk about who qualifies as for W-2 employees. In occupations where tipping is customary, including cosmetologists, nail techs, massage therapists, estheticians. Basically, anything that's covered by this board across the board. So it's a huge win there. It's all tips, not just cash tips, okay? I know there was some questions on that, even with the restaurant industry. No, it's all tips. And then I mentioned independent contractors. That's kind of an asterisk there that can be covered, but I'm gonna read my notes here. It's if they're in a non-specified service, trade, or business, which get with your CPA on that. But basically everything I'm reading, most of the occupations in this room would be qualified under that. It's up to $25,000 a year, which is huge for our industry. To quantify that, you know, if I'm a numbers geek, as most of you know, if you just put someone in a 22% tax bracket, which is middle range, that's going to quantify to about $5,000 a year. So it's big money. It means a lot to our cosmetologists, our nail techs, our massage therapists. This is very, very good. I guess the one thing about the legislation that wasn't great is only for 4 years. For those of you that have been in DC, as I have, you know, everything's about money. And the cost of this bill for 4 years is all that made sense. However, I think that it's going to continue forever because it's so popular and no one that's wanting to get elected is ever going to campaign against this, right? So I think it's here to stay, just my opinion, but it's only for federal taxes only. The state, Louisiana, is still going to want their cut. And it's also for, you're still going to have to pay in your FICA taxes on your Social Security, okay? So I just wanted to note that, which leads me to our next topic, the tip tax credit. I know we have some salon owners in here. This is the best thing since sliced bread for salon owners and forever, right? The restaurant industry has been having this for about 30 years. And my argument was, you know, whether or not the credit was needed, valid, whatever, you shouldn't just pick and choose who wins. And the restaurant industry has won for the last 30 years. Salons have been working on this, and now that Big Beautiful Bill has passed, it is now into law. So salon owners and barbering services, nail care, aesthetics, spas now can benefit from this. Wanted to give a shout out to Speaker Johnson. Met with him in 2024 on this. He was a big champion. Met with Senator Cassidy as well. They jumped on. They really helped push this legislation in Louisiana. So give a shout out to this guy. Government worked here, okay? They saw that this was something that should have always been included, and it got put in. So to quantify this, I guess, as I've done before, let's just say you do have a salon. You have 4, 5, 6 people working. Mentioned earlier, you have 25,000 annually exempt. So you can easily, with 4 or 5 people, accumulate, let's just say $100,000 in tips per year, right? So you pay that in as an employer, we would be responsible for paying in 7.65% of that. So we would pay forward $7,600 a year, roughly. Historically, that was just going to the government, you know. Now, we're still having to pay it, but at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, if you're fortunate enough to turn a profit for the year, you file I think it's Form 8846, it's a general business credit. So you would file, let's just say you would owe $8,000 on your income taxes for the year. You would get back $7,600 as a credit on that. So it's a huge win for salon owners, so we can invest back into our people, higher wages, what have you. I'm getting into the weeds here, I'm sorry, but y'all can tell my passion on this. We work very hard. This is going to put more money in everyone's pockets in this room, which is great, so we can attract more students, and that's my call to everyone here. This is a great industry. We all have our differences of opinions in this room, and that's fine. We can always say that we have differences of opinions, but we all should be united that cosmetology It's a great industry. It's underappreciated. The wages are underreported. Let's call a spade a spade. People don't report all their wages. This legislation does alone. It really helps because people aren't hiding wages anymore because they're going to get a tax-free break on that. So I think you're going to see wages go through the roof, which is going to be great for our industry as it relates to paying back our student loans. We're going to look better on paper than we have before. So my pledge to you is to work with you guys, and I want to basically be on the same page and communicating to your districts, to your employees, this information. I'd be happy to talk to any of you regarding this. So with that, I'm done.
Right.
Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing and thank you for your hard work in getting that done.
Is
Madam-
Ms. Chastity
You don't
Day?
have to do that.
I am so sorry.
Just like to tell you that Jeremy has been elected mayor of French Settlement. So, not only does he have 27 sports clips around, but all of French Settlement, they have to go to sports clips.
That's a side note. That's called goodwill and voluntary work.
Okay, so, Ms. Chastity Nader.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, welcome.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay.
We're ready.
So, stand up. So I'm here again to present my proposal to see if it's accepted for continuing education in 2026, January 25th and 26th. I submitted my curriculum schedule, lesson plan, speakers, evaluation form, and is there anything else?
Chastity, who were your speakers?
My speaker. You have a copy of
Educators here. Yes, we have the list of educator contacts. I believe that's
That's-
all that was
that's
sent. That's your speakers. Do you have any vendors like a lady or Pivot Point coming to give a certain type of education?
Not yet. I was trying to get the approval first, and then it'll be a lot more people that I'm gonna bring on board. But, again, I didn't wanna just reach without, approval and consent. So move forward with the process. So that's the only thing I'm waiting on. And I believe both of the lesson plans that we have in front of us, they're like 4 hours each. Yeah.
So we need, for
Three.
continuing education, it would need to be 16.
Three, I know, and that's just mine, that's just the one I'm presenting. The 16 will make up with the rest of the speakers, so they have their own lesson plans.
So you're the main presenter, and then we don't have what the other hours would entail yet.
We have it, we have just, the theme, but we don't have, their actual lesson plans yet.
Once you have all of that completed, you have your list of your vendors who are gonna be there, a little bit more information. I still feel like this isn't something, this is my opinion. I don't feel like we have enough here. I don't think it's strong enough yet to be approved by the board. Now, if you would like to take it on a business journey yourself and have maybe a business model formed, possibly do it for a year, see how it goes, then maybe re-present it back to us after you know that whatever you created as a business model works, I think we could definitely take something like that into consideration.
And I want to thank you for your interest in providing education to the industry and to our instructors.
I'm just trying to figure out what are you missing? What are you?
what you don't have, because I keep shut y'all, this is the second time y'all shutting it down. And everything that y'all asked for, I've given you. So I'm trying to-
We don't have all the curriculum for one, we only have 8 hours, we don't have 16.
But you didn't ask for all of the curriculum. And
We've been,
I
okay, but
did
then I'm gonna ask you for a complete curriculum,
for the whole 16.
everything,
Okay.
all of it. I'd like to see the list of vendors, all of it. I would like to see your entire package if that's possible.
Okay, so how do you expect me to reach out to people for something that's not even approved yet?
I don't think that you're putting the seminar on should depend on whether or not the board approves it for continuing ed. If this is something that you're passionate
No,
about, I
no,
think
it
you
is.
should go ahead and do it. I just think it's a little bit premature for the board to stand behind it, not actually knowing what all will be presented, and if it's credible enough for us to stand behind it and recommend to our state instructors to go to the seminar.
So That, again, you know, everybody has their own opinion. I feel like this is a good, curriculum for 2 days that I gave to you. The second day, I don't know, did you look at the second day?
That is, yes,
But the second day is more technical.
the men's
Yes,
Hair
that's
additions.
technical, so that's everything right there. So I don't know what else you want, because it's mainly demonstration on the second day and, education on the second day. So I don't know what else you want on the second day. First day, I gave you 4 hours, and second day, so just in between with those other speakers, that's all you probably need. And from what I have seen, going to these seminars, that's my reason for coming here, trying to do one, myself. I'm not impressed with what I see. And I sit amongst educators all the time, you know,
And
feedback side by side with other teachers. I have the whole, John Jay staff ready to, speak and put their lesson plans together and, go forward with the seminar.
With that being said, I'm not a cosmetologist, but looking from a business aspect, I think what the board would like to see is where is it gonna be held, and how are you gonna pay for it, how many attendees you're expecting, and things like that, like a business
So I
plan.
have that. That's what I'm constantly saying. I have that.
I didn't see where it was gonna be held, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I have it. If you need it, if it helps, if not,
I
then.
don't want you to feel discouraged, and I don't want you to feel like, I think it's amazing what you're trying to do, I just don't think that we're ready to stand behind it just yet.
Discouraged. And I'm trying to understand why, because I'm looking at what the other seminars that you stand behind, and they're not hitting the marks either. So I'm just trying to see what's so different about this one right here.
Can I say ask?
It's the teaching methods,
Okay.
it's, everything that meets the criteria, so I'm still trying to understand what is it?
We don't have lesson plans still for the day 2, you're saying a lot of it is practical work, we don't have the lesson plans for that, who's teaching exactly what, we just have the list of educators. And again, I don't want you to feel discouraged, and
No,
if you wanna
because
put
when-
on this seminar, I think it's amazing. Me personally, as a board member, I'm not ready to stand behind it.
So you stand behind these other seminars, but there's
I
all
haven't-
kind of missing pieces and puzzles and gaps and all kind of stuff that's going on. You stand behind it.
It is my understanding we have, I can't think of the initial, LSBB A is the
Miss
only
Teresa.
seminar that is
Yeah.
in person currently, and yes, we stand behind her, and then also now you can do online continuing ed.
Right. So if they have the option to do online continuing ed, what's the problem? I mean, nobody's forcing anybody to, take these seminars. They have an option. They can take this one, they can take the one, LSBBA, or they can take online. You know, they have different options. They don't have to. But to do what I need to do, I need the approval. I cannot reach out to all of these people and make promises and do this and put this big thing in motion with nothing to go off of. You know, that's my plan.
Where is it being held?
Just a statement.
Is it gonna change? Is it gonna make a difference?
Where would it be held?
Yes. Is Is it gonna get my approval?
It could
if I tell
definitely,
you?
it could definitely, I mean,
Because
everything needs to,
I'm putting out.
everything needs to be, you know, if
I
you're gonna
got
have
it.
it in, you know, in Fouchon, Louisiana, it probably won't be as successful if you have it like in central
So I
Louisiana.
got a good
Just-
spot for it.
just-
I think everybody would enjoy it.
Okay, well, you know, put that in your business plan, I think that would be wise, and, you know, because I think we do need more in person.
We do. I do too.
I just want to address what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from. But there's new information that's given out every year. We're trying to increase our educational institute with more information. I wish, and as I asked you before, that you would come aboard with me since you've been a part of the experience and you want to see, instead of us splitting up and going in different directions, why don't we get together and make this work for everybody? You're not going to please everybody regardless of how much time you spend on what you're doing, whether it's methodology, theory, practical, technical, or whatever. But each year we have been improving and adding more things because it's a baby to us as well. However, it took us a long time, but we endured until we brought to the board what they were expecting from us. And it took years for us to do what was expected of us because they have to stand behind us. This because it's people's license. So I would invite you again to come back because this workshop is really a great workshop. And we have all experienced instructors that are coming and people and even different topics and things that we have added to it. So we're just by you being here, that even gives me more of a push to even do even better with what we have and to increase the education so that we can make sure that the instructors that take back what we are giving to them that the students retain the information so that they would be better professionals. So I'm gonna invite you again to come and join us so that we can put our ideas and suggestions and concerns together so we can work together and make this a big thing for everyone.
I got you. Thank you so much. I understand. I've worked with people and instructors, and they also have the same vision. So we are striving to just not to compete or nothing nothing like that. Just do something else and do something different. And that's all.
And Ms. Chastity, we need more continuing education in person. We do, since we don't have LACs anymore. What I'm saying is continue on with creating your convention. And if it is successful, you don't need our approval for continuing education hours. Do it as your convention that you're putting on. If you're not going to be making false promises, you're creating an event.
I get that.
And
I wanted to do a continuing education though. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I know I don't need to.
It can still be set up that way with continuing education.
Right.
Just make sure you have everything for us. Go through it. Put it all together. I still suggest have one go. Have one off the ground. See how it goes. Come back to us. I'm not saying that's just my suggestion. But I don't think you have everything
I've
that
called, okay, so I've called and I've constantly asked, what else do you need? What else do you need? Constantly every week to Miss Tasha, right? So that I don't be standing here having this conversation. I didn't want to come here and wait a whole another month to stand here for you to tell me that I'm not ready or I'm not prepared because I feel like I am. You know, are y'all attending this seminar? Anybody in here? Do y'all attend these seminars?
Yeah.
So
And that's what I would
to
suggest.
constantly keep shooting it down, you know, like I
One thing I
said,
see.
if I would have known before you got here.
You need 16 hours of curriculum, that's one.
No, but you're not hearing me. The other part of the curriculum is day 2 and it's technical. It's technical and it's demonstration.
How many hours?
It's 8, the second
Another
day.
8?
Yeah, the second day. The only thing you're missing is from the other speakers, and that's their secret. That's their secret. That's what they're working on. I gave them an assignment, my colleagues, to, this thing, I wanted it to come from them. I didn't want to just tell them, you do this, you do that, you do that. I wanted it to come from them. We all have different years of experience in the industry as cosmetology instructors. We all at different places and we all have different styles. So I wanted it, and I like all of the styles that I work with. So I don't know. I have many of people, even probably John Jay himself, the whole team, they are ready. But again, this is something that I'm doing and I have their support. So. And if you need the venue, I will give it to you. If I'm not getting approved, we'll hold off on the venue.
If you're not
But I
getting
got a really good
approved, if
venue.
you're not getting approved, why don't you work with the other organization for 6 months to a year and bring it together, and you can still break away from it and do what you plan. But
Well, I was just trying
get
to
the
do
experience.
my own vision and dream.
That is your vision. That will be your vision. You're gonna take the vision to a vision.
And I
And you
just
can
feel like,
still break away from it at the end of these 6 months to a year. We're asking for that information, so why not work with it? I think you could be a good team.
Question, because I'm listening to her present, and I'm watching. She's asked questions, she's gotten information, and she brings it back. She said she didn't want to come down here and keep doing this, and y'all not giving her what she needs. Here's the problem I have. She doesn't have to partner with anyone. She's a qualified instructor herself.
She's very qualified to
Okay,
do her
so-
own business model and continue doing that.
But the point I'm making is.
She doesn't need our approval for that.
Let me ask a question, because one of the presenters said she's an instructor. Okay, do they present every time if they change their instructors, do they have to come before the board?
Yes.
Okay, so they submit that every time?
Every time.
Okay, so every time they bring an
Yes.
instructor in to teach,
Yes.
they have to submit their curriculum that they want to
Yes.
teach?
Every time.
Okay, how many instructors, continuing education instructors are here now?
Let me
Just one?
let me talk to you.
Okay, listen, I don't really need
No,
to
ma'am.
cut
No,
this short.
I'm not in for
We have a
that.
very long board meeting.
I mean, I know that.
She's a guest that's presenting, you presented, we've given you our objective on it, and we need to move on. I thank you very much for coming. I still think you should continue building your model. And bring it back to us once you have it off the ground.
Well, give her what she needs.
So,
can you tell me
I think we need to see it happen.
I think what
And
she's
get some
saying
feedback.
is do your seminar, January 25th, 26th. Get feedback from people, what worked, what didn't work, all of the things, all the constructive criticism, and then come back and say, we realized this needs improvement, we excelled in this, we had great vendors here, this vendor we're not gonna ask back, all of these things. Use this one as a trial. This is your first trial run, and then come back. I think that's what she's getting at. Like, it's, you know, you play a scrimmage football game before you play the football game. Think of it like that. I think that that's
But
what she's
I don't
asking.
need a trial.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't, I don't mean this in a, to sound a certain kind of way, but like sometimes you may
You can
feel
do
like
it.
you do, but it's different
Do
when
it.
you have 100 people looking at you and the electricity goes out, the lights go out,
Yeah, but that's,
you know.
that's for everybody.
I know
You
that's for
what I'm
everybody,
saying?
but
Nobody's saying-
but you need to go through that first run and learn. I just think, I agree with her, what she's saying. It's a scrimmage before the game.
We're not gonna
That's all
stop
I'm
you
saying.
from, you can hold the
If
show.
we can see it, if it's well
Go for it.
received, if it provides appropriate educational value to our instructors, potentially invite your board to this seminar. Let us see firsthand. You're asking us to go in blindly and support it, and we're just not ready to do that.
How am I asking you to go in blind
Because
when I
it hasn't
submitted my
happened
lesson
yet.
plan? But we all are. I mean, no seminar has happened yet. Every seminar you plan for, you going in blindly.
Correct,
You know.
but they're not all supported for continuing ed.
That's right. So continue with your seminar.
I just want to say one thing. With our seniors, like I said, we're not perfect, we're constantly growing. But we have to come in to the board and submit every part of the curriculum, from the lesson plans and every lesson plan for every instructor. And they look through it and approve it before. But I want to say this to you, so you won't get discouraged. It took several years for us to come, and we presented like you did, until finally we got the permission to be approved and supported by
It
them.
is discouraging. You know why? Because I've constantly called every single week asking, what else do I need? What else do I need? What else do I need? So to get here and stand before everybody and you tell me I still don't have what I need, then that is discouraging, because I don't need a free pre-show. I don't need that. This is what I wanna do, and I'm just asking for approval, and I don't see what's the big deal. Nobody is forced to take the seminar.
You can still do the seminar, move forward.
Yeah,
with
but I
seminar.
wanna help my educators,
That's
I wanna
not
help
what you want to
students
do.
and
We're
teachers.
not, at this time, we're not ready to give it to you, but thank you for your presentation. So we're gonna move on now to the consent agreements.
All right, good morning, everybody. I'll go through all of them like I usually do, but there's quite a few, so I'd rather you stop me as we go if you have questions rather than wait till the end, because that might be kind of a mess.
Before you start, do we have people here from hearings, just so we know?
Ms. Fontaine is here.
Fontaine.
Is Ms. Johnson here? Okay. So the first two go together, Glamour Nails and Spa and Julie Pham. This is a violation from June 27th, 2025 for having an unlicensed worker in the salon. They both agreed to a consent agreement where they paid a fine of $200 plus cost of $450 each for a total of $650 each, and a 1-year probation.
What was the date again?
Oh, I'm sorry,
625.
June 27, 2025. All right. The next one is Grace Garcia. This is a violation from August 16th, 2024 for operating an unregistered salon. She agreed to a consent agreement to pay a fine of $200 plus cost of $450, as well as a 1-year probation. The next two go together. Mr. Tran and Sassy Nails. This is a violation from July 2nd, 2025. There were two violations. One was for having 3 unlicensed workers in the salon, and the second one was for having waxing equipment, and this was licensed as a manicuring salon, so they're not permitted to have that equipment. So they paid a fine of $200 per violation, plus cost of $450, so for a total of $1,250. And they agreed to the 1-year probation. The next two go together, Lynn Dang and Unique Nails. This is a violation from July 1st, 2025. They had 2 violations, one for having an unlicensed worker, and like the last one, this salon was registered as a manicuring salon, and they had waxing equipment and that was on and hot in the salon. They paid a fine of $200 per violation for a total of $400 plus cost of $450, so $850 each plus the 1-year probation. All right, the next two go together. New Lou and Nora Nails by Talia. This is a violation from March 26, 2025 for having an individual that was licensed as a manicurist performing waxing services in the salon. They agreed to a consent agreement where they paid a fine of $200 plus $450 in cost and a 1-year probation. And this is one I brought up to before we started. We've received the full payment and we've received 1 signed consent agreement. They just have to send the second one, and I've spoken to them, and that's on the way. The next two go together, Buadin Lee and Fancy Nails. This is a data violation, June 18th, 2025. This is a salon that was licensed or registered as a manicuring salon, and they had waxing equipment that was on and hot at the time of the inspection. This these licensees had prior discipline from 2022 for having a wax pot, same violation, having waxing equipment in the manicuring salon. They entered into a prior consent agreement where they paid fines and costs of $550 plus the 1-year probation. They were not on, the probation period had ended at the time of this new violation, so they were not on probation at the time of the second violation. But because of the prior violation, we did the $200 fine and $450 costs, and then we did the probationary period is 1 year and 6 months. And they have to post a copy of the consent agreement during the period of the probation. The next two go together, Mr. Wynn and Sun Nails Spa and Facial. This is a violation from June 22nd, 2025, for having an unlicensed worker in the salon.
That's right.
They agreed to consent agreement, pay a fine of $200 plus $450 in cost, and a 1-year probation. Is that right?
Gee.
That's why I got my Crocs.
Okay. All right, I'll speak louder. Okay, we have the next two go together.
I knew it was all right.
Lynn Wynn and Ocean Nail Bar and Facials. This is a data violation, 7th, 2024, for having an unlicensed worker in the salon. They paid a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs, and they agreed to a 1-year probationary period. The next one is Tanika Tolliver. This is a violation from April 4th, 2025 for operating an unregistered cosmetology salon. They agreed to a consent agreement to pay a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs plus a 1-year probation. The next one is Angel Nail 2, and the agenda has a separate one for Johnny Wang on letter R, but really that's one consent agreement. It's Johnny Wang via Angel Nails. That one they have two separate violations that we put into one consent agreement. They had a violation from July 24th, 2025 for operating a salon that was not properly registered with the board, and a second violation from August 12th, 2025 for having an unlicensed worker in the salon. They agreed to a consent agreement where they pay a fine of $200 per violation for a total of $400 plus the cost of $450 and a 1-year probation. The next two go together, the Shampoo Bar and Johnny Tran. This is a violation from July 1st, 2025 for having an unlicensed worker in the salon. They paid a consent, or they agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 plus cost of $450 and a 1-year probation. The next two go together, Fabulous Nails and Tam Lou. This is a violation from March 27th, 2024 for having 2 unlicensed workers in the salon. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 per violation plus cost of $450 and the 1-year probation. The next two go together, Hollywood Hair and Nail and Kelly Wynn. The violation is from July 25th, 2024 for having 4 unlicensed workers in the salon. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 for each violation for a total of $800 for plus cost of $450 and a 1-year probation. The next one is High Tran DBA Wings Nail Bar. This one also had 2 violations that we did in one consent agreement. The first one is from June 13th, 2023, and the second one is from March 25th, 2025. The first violation from 2023 is for having 2 unlicensed workers. The second one from 2025 is for having 1 unlicensed worker in the salon. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 per violation for a total of $600 plus cost of $450. And because there were 2 violations, we did a 1-year, 6-month probation instead of the 1 year. The next one is Blanc Beauty Bar. This is a violation from August 22nd, 2024 for having 2 unlicensed workers in the salon. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 per violation for a total of $400 plus cost of $450 plus the 1-year probation. The next 2 go together, Min Win and World Nails and Aesthetic Salon. This is a violation from July 31st, 2024 for having 2 unlicensed workers in the salon. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 per violation plus cost of $450 plus the 1-year probation. The next 2 go together, Fat Win and Lsbc. This is a violation from August 14th, 2025 for having 1 unlicensed worker in the salon. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs and a 1-year probation. The next one, Andre Busalati. This is a violation from August 24th, 2024. Ms. Busalati had a license issued in Texas, and she was applying for licensure by reciprocity, but it was still pending at the time of the violation, and she was found working without a valid Louisiana license. So she agreed to a consent agreement where she pays a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs. All right, and then the last 3 basically go together. Golden File, the violations from April 17th, 2025. Golden File had 2 unlicensed workers in the salon, Mr. Ozario and Mr. Pond. They agreed to a consent where they pay a fine of $200 plus cost per violation plus cost of $450 plus the 1-year probation. And then each of the 2 workers have separate consent agreements. So the first one is Jeffrey Ozario. He was working in the salon without a license. He was registered as a student that had already completed school. He has not yet become licensed by the board, but is in the process of trying to become licensed. He just needs to take his tests. He agreed to a consent where he paid a fine of $200 plus cost of $450. And then Mr. Fon also was one of the workers in the salon. He was working with a license from another state. He was applying for a licensure by reciprocity, but it had not been approved. He has now passed all of his tests and come into compliance and is ready to be licensed as soon as this violation is cleared. So he agreed to a consent where he pays a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs, and then because his license is being issued, it will be suspended upon issuance, or not suspended, on probation for a period of 1 year after issuance. And that's all.
I just want to circle back to fancy nails.
Okay, hold on, let me. Okay, yes.
They had a prior violation in 2022.
Yes,
Okay, that was, and they were on probation, and they were no longer probation anymore when this violation happened. It was for the same thing,
yes.
same violation. So
Correct.
at what point do we as a board suggest that they have to come in for an actual hearing? I mean, if they're just gonna continue to.
Yeah, and so that's up to y'all. So what we did on this one was we did increase, we added 2 additional kind of things that are not part of maybe the standard, which is we extended the probationary period to 18 months instead of 12. And they have to post a copy of the consent agreements next to their license in the salon for the duration. But if in the future, if they have priors, if you want them to come in, we can certainly do that. Y'all just need to let me know so that I know.
Maybe something for us to consider, continuing on the same violation over and over again.
And that's not backward, okay.
It's not, no, it's not yet. So, yes.
I make a motion to accept the consent agreements as presented, pending signature on H&I. All in favor?
Excuse me, ma'am. They call for the vote without question.
I'm sorry.
Public comment at the end. We have time for public comment.
No,
Sir, the statute says you have to permit a period of public comment prior to a vote. Trust me, I know the open meetings laws backwards, forwards, upside down, and inside out. Ms. Morris will attest to that.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay, she did, that's why I stood up. And I give her
You
grace for that.
reminded her.
Yes, ma'am. We're good. Good. Okay. I noticed that primarily all of these are Asian descent. All of these violations.
I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to speak up. With the rain, I'm having a hard time.
Everybody, I know it's beyond everybody's control, but it would be nice if everybody did that, because you're right, everybody's getting drowned out by the rain.
By the rain. All of the violations and consents are of Asian descent primarily. That's what I said. And I've not, since I've been coming, I've not seen any violations from any salon or anything else on this particular agenda since I've been here. My question is, and I'm not saying it's targeting, but at some point in time, I'm quite sure as what the gentleman at Sports Club says, everybody don't play by the rules and everybody's not playing by the rules. And Inspector Crawfords, they go to the certain places and they do certain things. And so I'm just wondering, you know, because I know I walk in barbershops and in salons and I see violations. As a result of that, I don't see an inspector coming in there and citing them, but it seems like, you know, this particular sector of people are problematic, and I just estimated probably about $25,000 to $30,000 in consent fines from this particular group. I know that y'all didn't get the $25 that you wanted from the fee increase, but I hope this is not the alternative to collecting that money. And then the other thing is, and I'm gonna sit down after this, because at the end of the day, if you're not on board, then you gotta appear before the board. That's what it seems like. Because I know that there are violators across this state not complying with the rules and regulations in other salons other than those that are mentioned here. But yet I never seen any of them. And then the other thing I wanna do is I wanna walk this building because it was testified at the legislation that they had rain coming in. So this is a good time for us to prove what was stated there in here. That's just what I want to see. I want to see where the rain is coming into this building because they said when it rains, it pours in here. But I'm just looking at the fairness and the integrity of, I believe you all are, but the system is not. And I think that something has to be done about this because if this is targeting, and if, you know, roughly, if you do this about a year, that's over $250,000 of fines that are taken from one sect of people. And I know that there are other sects out there that are violating. And that's the problem I have. If you're gonna bring them all in, then bring them all in. You can't uphold the law over here and let people get away over here. We had bribes already and all these other things that are going on. This board needs to be more transparent and target anyone that's violating and not the ones that you like or the ones that you don't like. Because this is what it seems like right now.
Thank you. So, let's go on to the motion.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agreements as Kelsey presented, with the exception of H&I pending signature. I second.
All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. We'll move on to hearings.
I would suggest that since Ms. Fontaine is here, Ms. Johnson, I don't believe is, that we reverse so that she can go first, if that's all right. Would you mind switching with her so she can sit at the table, please? Yeah, and Ellen has taken down everything, obviously, so y'all could just speak up so she can make sure to get it all over the room. That would be helpful. Okay, so this is docket number 25007. The respondent is Tammy Fontaine. We previously, at the August board meeting, held the hearing where both sides presented their evidence, testimony, and argument. My recollection is that the board took the matter under advisement. And so I would just turn it over to the board as to how you guys want to proceed.
So, we've had some change in the composition of the board since August. So
Okay.
who was present for the original hearing?
Who was present?
Who was present?
Mr. Cozy, were you here?
Yeah.
Yes.
August.
Four.
Four. So, right, so we would have to have one of the board members
You don't have
review
enough.
the record, one of the new board members.
Well, if we have 4 of the 7 that can vote, is that quorum?
I thought there were 8 and you needed 5.
Oh,
Yes,
there's 8 and we need 5.
that's
Okay.
right.
So, Ms. Fontaine, so I'm just gonna ask you, did you have any other evidence you were gonna present today, or?
When I was here last time, I was asked to present the emails that happened between myself and Kelsey. And I showed that I had them with me that day, and I was told, well, some of the ladies on this table said, oh, we can have them, but then Kelsey stopped you all. And she said, oh, we can wait until the next hearing. And so what I did, I mailed them here, and I still had them, and the other day Kelsey emailed me and asked me to confirm that I was coming to this hearing, and I said I'll be there. And all those emails were on the same thread, and I just looked just a moment ago, and now the emails from Kelsey are no longer there, except for the one asking me, am I coming in today?
So I don't recall that. I brought copies of all of the emails
Okay, well,
to
that's good
provide
then.
to the board
Let's
because
have
I
those.
wasn't sure what the board wanted.
That's what they wanted. They wanted the emails.
So I would be happy to provide
Thank
copies
you.
of everything.
And because my main argument was the fact that it took all those months and over a year to get to the point where I actually had to get Kelsey's details from Natasha, and it was only once I contacted Kelsey did she actually work on the case, and then within 2 days she told me what she wanted, and within 2 days she told me that I have to pay her $450, which I am not. And I just sat there just now, I just worked out exactly how much this lady just made just from signing papers and saying that all those Asian nail shops have fined. She over almost $14,000 just to
Doesn't
go.
go to me.
Excuse me, I didn't interrupt.
Doesn't go to me.
I didn't interrupt you.
No, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Just to do that, and that's what I said to her before we even came to court. I said, can you please tell me actually what you did, because I did all the work for my case, and I said to Kelsey, if I hadn't reached out to Kelsey, my name would probably still be on her desk. So I just need Kelsey to tell me exactly how she's earning that money, because I did all the work on my case, and Kelsey was the one who then said, oh, we're going to give you a 12 months probation for this. I said, but I didn't do that, so why must I be on probation? And even in front of the board last time I was here, Kelsey said, even though she didn't commit this crime, we're still going to put her on 12 months probation. So I just think Kelsey's just signing off whatever she wants to sign off just so she gets her money, and regardless of the business or the business owners, it's, oh, you've made this mistake, you've had this infraction, this is your punishment, and you pay this fine. And
Ms. Fontaine, let me just give you a little bit of background so you understand the process.
I understand money.
Understand, but I want you to understand the process. So, I've not seen you here before, so this is probably your first time?
No,
that you-
it's my second.
No, I mean, with a violation since you've been licensed.
That's right.
How long have you been licensed?
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years. So there's a process where there's a violation. You have a right to a hearing before the board, which you exercise that right. But some licensees prefer not to have the hearing, and they prefer to settle without having to come
That's a
here.
shame, because if most of them did prefer a hearing, maybe a lot more things would be changed in the state board.
That is their choice, right? And so the board has given some direction to Ms. Luckett about how, you know, the law tells us what the fines can be, and they've given some direction that she can settle on these terms. If you're not in agreement with the terms that are offered, but those were pre-approved by the board, then you can come for a hearing, which you did. And so, just trying to figure out how to move this forward. So you referred to some emails you said that you want presented to the board in
Well, I didn't
connection
ask
with the
them to be
hearing.
presented. I was asked if I had the correspondence between Kelsey and myself, and I said yes.
Okay, did you want to present those to the board then?
Well, I thought it's what the board wanted.
Okay, and then Ms. Luckett says she has copies of it, so do you want to check the copies she has before they're distributed to
Yes,
the board to
please.
make sure it's what you're thinking would be distributed?
So I printed 5 copies of each,
fine.
so just each, and there it should be in date order. That's the first one.
So we had 4 members present. Mr. Petrie, you had said that you would recuse. Was that because you weren't present?
I wasn't here, I'd have to table it and come back.
Okay, so that would, but you don't have any conflict that would prevent you from reviewing the record if it was provided to you, is that correct?
Right, no.
Okay, so that would just cause a delay, but it would not.
I believe Ms. Quinlan was here at the last one, when we held the hearing, so if it would be easier, we could just do it
At
if
the
she's
next
here.
meeting, if you think.
I don't know if
it
she
should be.
was here for that one because it was her kid's first day of school.
Okay,
Oh,
I wasn't at the
submitted.
August.
She wasn't at the
Okay,
August
okay,
one.
Okay, all right, then we will just have to have Mr. Peachy review it.
We'll have to have it transcribed.
So I'll ask Ellen to transcribe it and get the exhibits and submit the whole thing to her.
Good. Not today.
Not today, it won't happen that fast.
So do it right now.
Well, can I ask, is Brittany Petrie still on the board?
No.
She is not, okay. So the letterhead for this agenda has one board member that in reality is no longer on this board?
It transferred to this meeting. This is Mr. Petrie's first meeting.
Okay,
From the time the agenda was.
I understand.
I can't see the email on here, where I said to you that I'm not accepting a mark on my record. I can't see that in there.
Mhm.
Like, snatch, Kelsey, I'm a grown woman.
I believe it's right here.
Yeah, I'm happy with these, no reason.
Okay. So can we distribute those to the board members? We would need, in order to decide the case, Ms. Fontaine, this is kind of an unusual situation, but we had a change of board members, and then we have some absences today, so we don't have 5 members that actually heard the case. But because we have a court reporter, she transcribed verbatim what was said during the hearing. I don't know, Ellen, were you the court reporter? Yes. So Ellen will go ahead and prepare a transcript. Mr. Petrie, who was not here and is now a board member, replacing the board member that heard the case probably. So he will have the opportunity to read the whole transcript and look at all the exhibits, including these exhibits, which is going to delay us being able to make a decision today. So it will come up, how long do we think for the transcript? Oh, it was 2 days?
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks, okay. I thought that was fast. Okay, 2 weeks.
At least. This is
Um,
5 copies.
So do we want to, the board meets once a month on the first Monday of the month. And so I would say to be maybe conservative and give Mr. Petrie a chance to read the entire transcript, maybe the December meeting?
November would be better because as last time, I'll be going to London again to see my mum.
Okay, so you'd be unavailable in December.
If
but
she,
you're
as soon as you
available.
get to me, I can read it.
Okay, so we'll just reset it for decision on the, on the November board meeting. And at that time, you will have an opportunity, both sides, to make a presentation, to the board before they take the matter under advisement, before they deliberate the matter. Is that acceptable?
Yes, of course.
I apologize for the inconvenience, but it's
No,
just kind
that's
of an
fine,
odd
that's
circumstance.
fine. But I just think that we need to implore to more people to have their cases heard, because just to be able to just sign off, I'm not the one. But luckily, she's getting benefited from people who don't want to sit here and take time off from that.
Just so you know, Ms. Luckett doesn't get the funds, they come to the board, they're all payable to the board.
Say no more.
There's no public comment on it.
I'm not I'm just saying, as a method of expediting, I will be more than happy to upload the video of the hearing from 2 weeks ago, provide it to the board. That will speed the process along, and and probably will find it easier to watch rather than read.
Yeah.
And you will hear voice inflection, you will see and hear everything.
Yeah,
So
sure, if you do that, I'll look at it.
Yeah.
I'll send that to Ms. Tasha and can go on out. I know everybody, I guess.
Just put it on your website?
Oh, yeah, I'll put it, I'm not, if I'm gonna go ahead and upload it, I'll certainly put it on the website,
cool.
so.
I'll look at it.
Thank you for the
I
offer,
appreciate
Mr. Burns,
it.
but
Thank you.
Mr. Petrie, you do have to review the official
Right.
transcript.
I get it.
But that is probably helpful as well.
Very good. I'll try.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a good week.
You too. You as well. Yeah, so all the board members that,
Can you get all their copies of that, because we're gonna, it's been a minute.
right,
Yeah, we'll just circulate it for everyone. And Tasha, do you have the original agreement? Yes. Okay, so we can just send that around with all the
okay, so the other, there's no representative here for the other matter, Darielle Johnson.
And I did reach out to her and did not hear back from her.
And do you have, evidence that she received that notice of hearing?
Yes, so I have,
No, I need to come up with.
that's okay. I have, all of the mailings to her. Okay, so this is in the matter of Darielle Johnson, docket number 25-005. Kelsey Luckett representing the board. Doesn't appear there's anybody here for Ms. Johnson.
Do we want to check in the front just to make sure?
Sure.
Can you just check in the front, make sure? So let the record reflect that it's 10:18 and the matter was noticed hearing at 9 o'clock, and Ms. Johnson hasn't contacted anyone this morning.
Okay, so this is a matter, again, involving Ms. Darielle Johnson, related to the allegation is that she operated an unregistered salon. So I'll begin by calling Ms. Edrin, to come testify.
How you doing?
Doing fine.
You'll be sworn, please, Edrin.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, Ms. Edrin, could you please state your name and business address for the record?
Edwin Brumfield, 11622 Sunbelt Court.
And are you an inspector for the board?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been an inspector for the board?
3 years.
Did you conduct an inspection of a facility called Nola Bell Waxing on October 18th, 2023?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to show you a document that I've marked as Exhibit 1. What is that document?
My inspection report.
Did you complete it?
Yes, I did.
Can you please tell the board what happened during your inspection?
I went in for a routine inspection and as I'm starting the inspection for this location, knocked on the door for the young lady with her name posted for the salon and being in contact with her, that's when she told me that she didn't have a salon license. She had her aesthetics license, but she didn't have a salon license. And I asked her, was she aware that she needed to register? And I believe at the time it was something that she just didn't get a chance to do it.
And do you know whether she was open and providing services to clients?
Yes, she was.
Did you issue Ms. Johnson a violation?
Yes, I did.
What was that violation for?
For failure to register an aesthetic salon with the Louisiana State Board of Cosmetology before opening to service clients.
Did you provide Ms. Johnson with a copy of the violation?
Yes, I did.
And did she sign it?
Yes, she did.
Did you turn it into the board?
Yes, I did.
Is this a copy of what you turned in?
Yes, it is.
Great. I'll offer Exhibit 1 into evidence.
May be accepted.
All right, I have no further questions for Edrin. Does anybody on the board have any questions for her? No? All right, Edrin, you're excused. Thank you very much. All right, now I will move with calling Ms. Tasha Butler as my next witness.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Tasha, could you please state your name and business address for the record?
Tasha Butler, 11622 Sunbelt Court, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And what is your role with the board?
I'm the assistant director
How long have you been with the board?
since 2002.
Did you receive the inspection report that we previously looked at that's marked as Exhibit 1?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you received the violation, did you conduct a search of the board's system regarding the individuals in the facility identified on the report?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you determine?
That the salon itself was not licensed, but Barry L. Johnson did have a license.
Was she licensed as a physician?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you refer the violation to the board's prosecutor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll show you what I've marked as Exhibit 2. This is a letter dated January 23rd, 2024. Did you send this letter out on behalf of the board?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the purpose of this letter?
This was an informal hearing notice that basically gives her 10 days to respond to the violation, to state whether or not she agrees or disagrees with the violation. Also included was a proposed consent agreement that she had the option to sign.
Okay, and was it sent to the registered address on file for Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it also sent via email?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll offer Exhibit 2 into evidence. All right, let's take a look at Exhibit 3. What is Exhibit 3?
Exhibit 3 is the administrative complaint that was sent to Ms. Barry L. Johnson.
And did you send it out on behalf of the board?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll offer Exhibit 3 into evidence. All right, and now I'll show you Exhibit 4, Tasha. What is Exhibit 4?
Exhibit 4 is the administrative complaint and the notice of hearing. The notice to show cause why. Which the hearing was August 4th, 2025.
Okay, what's included in this packet that's Exhibit 4?
It is the administrative complaint, the notice to show cause, and a copy of the inspection report, as well as the proposed consent agreement.
Okay, did you send it to the registered address on file for Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
And you mentioned that this was for a hearing that was scheduled for August 4th initially. Did that hearing take place on August 4th?
No, ma'am, it did not.
Okay. Oh, I'll offer Exhibit 4 into evidence. I'll show you Exhibit 5. What is Exhibit 5?
It's the continuance order, resetting the hearing to today's date, October 6th at 9 a.m.
Did you send this out to Ms. Johnson on behalf of the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you send it to the registered address on file for Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll offer Exhibit 5 into evidence. Sherry's Exhibit 5 accepted? Accepted. All right, last one, Tasha, I'll show you Exhibit 6. This is a letter dated September 5th to Ms. Johnson. Did you send this to Ms. Johnson via regular mail and certified mail?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also send it by email?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the purpose of this letter?
It was basically telling her that she had initially signed the consent agreement in August, but we had not received the funds. So she will be scheduled for a hearing.
Okay, and this was sent certified mail and regular mail to her address on file, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll offer Exhibit 6 into evidence. Okay. I have no additional questions. Does anyone have any questions for Tasha?
Actually, she was sent the consent, she signed for receiving it, but didn't.
Yeah, she signed the consent August 4th at the board meeting.
Okay.
But she didn't have the funds.
Okay.
So we rescheduled her to October to give her time to come up with the funds.
Okay.
Any other questions for Tasha? So I'll just make a brief closing. So as Tasha said, so this is a violation pretty clearly for opening a salon and providing services to clients without being properly inspected and registered with the board. I did correspond initially with Ms. Johnson about a possible consent agreement, and that is the basis for continuing the hearing that was on August 4th to give additional time for that process to play out, for her to make that decision. I have not spoken to Ms. John, I have emailed her, I have not spoken to her or received a response from her since the August 4th meeting. At the August 4th meeting, we did state on the record that her meeting, that her hearing would be rescheduled to today's date. And then after the hearing, we sent a formal motion in order of continuance to her at her registered address and by email. And then I sent a follow-up letter to her as well on September the 5th, again, just confirming the hearing date and kind of the status of everything. And I have not heard back, and it's my understanding Tasha has not either. And so the evidence that we've presented, I believe clearly shows a violation of 591A for failure to operate a cosmetology salon without being properly registered by the board. And so my recommendation would be the issuance of a fine to Ms. Johnson. The maximum amount you guys can do is $200, so I'll leave that to your discretion. plus cost of the proceedings, and a 1-year suspension that will be suspended upon payment of the fine. And I have proposed board order for you guys to consider as well.
For 1-year suspension, then would that convert to probation?
Yeah, so typically the way I frame it is I say in there to have it, it's a 1-year suspension, but once the payment is received in compliance, she's come into compliance with the board's order, it basically becomes a probation. The license isn't suspended anymore, it's just a probation.
And she will be able to obtain a salon license.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
I'll move that we pass this.
Motion to accept.
Accept it.
The proposed, you're moving to accept the proposed findings and
Yeah.
fact, conclusions of law,
Yes.
and the order.
And the audit is.
So the order has the proposed order is to assess costs and a fine of $200. So there's no cost assessment in here. So we would need to add an amount or require receipts to be presented. The cost, the amount of the cost is generally, you have to use $750 an hour for hearings. It's less than an hour hearing. It's a 45-minute hearing. So that, 700.
Yes.
In favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so, you have to leave.
I do have to leave.
So, Sherry, we have a board member that has to excuse themselves already.
We lack a quorum.
Yeah.
So, we could move all other items to the next agenda in November.
That was my recommendation.
Yeah.
That's wise.
Yeah. Yep.
So, review.
Everything that requires action, you can accept reports, but you can't take any action. Yeah, the reports. But none of the remaining things affect somebody getting a license or delay a license.
Oh, and leave it.
So,
The retention schedule have to be approved?
Or what?
The retention schedule. It needs to be approved. Is that something that needs to be approved before the next 4 weeks?
You can wait.
You can wait.
You can wait. So, yeah, you can wait.
Yeah, so everybody, You might want to take your packets and review it, be ready for if you have any questions.
What are you fixing to do?
We're fixing a lack of quorum, so just move everything to the next agenda.
Well, can I make an announcement, or should that wait?
Why don't you wait?
Okay.
Okay, so, because we will not have a quorum, that is my recommendation, and I'll ask for the vote on that, or to table everything.
Is it not gonna be a forum because somebody has to leave?
Two people have to leave.
Oh, two people have to leave.
Serena
Okay.
has to leave as well. So it would just be three of us.
Thank you.
No, we need five.
Unfortunately.
And we need five.
Already late.
A motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All right. Meeting is adjourned.